ser, corre por sus pies, sabe bien qué hacer para verse bien, se arregló para ella misma, salió con todas sus amigas, vestido corto que le queda bien, esa niña siempre luce bien, aprende a sentirse siempre como un 10, no le tiene miedo a lo que fue ayer, y si le tiene miedo, no importa, tiene tiempo para entenderlo, sus zapatillas se volvieron lienzo en caída, se dio un beso, el espejo en la flora, siempre se demona, que se look de Barbie, pero es bien cabrona, no le tiene miedo a lo que fue ayer, no le tiene miedo a lo que fue ayer, no le tiene miedo a lo que fue ayer, no le tiene miedo a lo que fue ayer. Sabe qué hacer para verse bien, se arregló para ella misma, salió con todas sus amigas, vestido corto que le queda bien, esa niña siempre lo sé bien, aprendió a sentirse siempre como un 10, no le tiene miedo a lo que fue ayer, no tengan miedo, para ser sincero, ustedes también luego que me sientan en paz. ¿Por qué te levantas con miedo a ver que me encantas esa noche? Abrazabas tan sincero que no había palabras, porque lo nuestro, esa parte, ver comentarios ni llamadas entrantes. Dime si empiezo a besarte o si solo escucho el tono a confesarse. Y si tú a mí me llamas, yo le llego, y aunque no tengo nada, te lo debo. Vamos junto a la luna, yo te llevo. Y si tú a mí me llamas, yo le llego, y aunque no tengo nada, te lo debo. Vamos junto a la luna, yo te llevo. ¿Por qué te levantas con miedo a ver que me encanta esa noche? Me abrazabas tan sincero que no había palabras, porque lo nuestro, esa parte, ver comentarios ni llamadas entrantes. Dime si empiezo a besarte o si solo escucho el tono a confesarse. Tengo buena suerte de que vive en mi mente para poder verte, no hace falta verte. Ay, qué mala suerte de no poder tenerte 24/7, eso no me divierte. Bebé, no sé, ni siquiera te busqué, pero ya me encapriché. Dime qué tengo que hacer para poder vibrar contigo, mujer, compartir la misma piel y solo una copa de vino y una breve charla. Es que yo siempre me descuido, ¿cómo no mirarla? Tú sabes bailar, se te facilita como el caminar. Tú sabes bailar, yeah. Y ese ritmo que lo hace lento, poco a poco se va violento. Vamos, vamos, vamos al cielo. Yo no tengo miedo, lo siento. Ya no pongas pretextos, te vi, tú también me estás viendo. Dime dónde termina el juego, si voy por ti o vienes corriendo. Y esa dama, la gente la mira, la ama. Las fotos verán su llegada. Entonces hasta el agua salada, entonces hasta el agua salada. La gente espera su llegada. No hay reclamos porque no hay llamadas. Te quiere y si quiere no hay nada. Te quiere y si quiere no hay nada. Tú sabes bailar, se te facilita como caminar. Tú sabes bailar, yeah. Y ese ritmo que lo hace lento, poco a poco se va violento. Vamos, vamos, vamos al cielo. Yo no tengo miedo, lo siento. Tú sabes bailar, sabes bailar. Tú sabes bailar, sabes bailar. Cuando te veo yo quiero pecar, no lo puedo controlar, mucho menos intentar, imposible de explicar. Quiero invitarte a bailar, pero me vas a olvidar. Vamos una vez más, y si la luna voltea a mirar, nos esquivamos, o tal vez el mundo observamos, sus defectos subrayamos, subrayamos. Mira y pásalo, no soy yo, así que mira y te arreglo. Está cabrón, así que mira y te arreglo. Un trago más y te... Mira y pásalo, no soy yo, así que mira y te arreglo. Está cabrón, así que mira y te arreglo. Un trago más y te paso y te arreglo. Como verla, sorpresitas para mi cabeza. Tengo miedo, estoy cansado de limpieza. Lo que me ayudan son calma y condena. Odio mi cabeza, se pone el peso de cada que me intenta. 15 años sin experiencia, la vida es corta, tiene 15 y esa piensa. Solo mira y pásalo, no soy yo, así que mira y te arreglo. Está cabrón, así que mira y te arreglo. Un trago más y te paso y te arreglo. Mira y pásalo, pásalo. Mira y te arreglo, mira y te arreglo. Un trago más y te paso y te arreglo. Y aunque me cuesta, me quiero un chingo. Porque me gusta no quererme por ser un poco distinto. Por ser un poco distinto. Y aunque me cuesta, me quiero un chingo. Porque me gusta no quererme por ser un poco distinto. Por ser un poco distinto.
All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Duele, yo no sé, ya no dores, pinche. 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 Duele, yo no sé, ya no
con tu cigarro seguramente, dulce sabor que veo tormenta, no suelo fumar pero tú me...
Alright guys, what's up? What's up, y'all? hello. Alright, let's dive into it today. Let's see what we got going on. What do we got going on here? So we had CPI just now about 50 minutes ago, which was relatively uneventful. Not much going on there. Metals, they just keep dropping. I was looking for a play here yesterday, but we kind of broke out before we took out this liquidity, so didn't quite get there. There's maybe a possibility for some shorts here on whether it's going to be gold, maybe silver. So we'll kind of get back to this here in a bit, but not too much volatility. CPI was relatively boring today. So whether you're looking at metals, whether you're looking at maybe oil, I wasn't really, just not really in love with anything. Oil did clear Tokyo highs with this move during London session, and then about 30 minutes ago, we saw it spike into this last push higher. Not really my favorite setup either. The structure break here was pretty weak, so not a lot of demand. And then we didn't really pull back enough, so I could understand if anyone took this. I get it. You have the clearance here. It captures liquidity, and then it drops. So you got a rejection out of this. Maybe some of you actually took this. However, yeah, it just really wasn't my trade to take. And then moving on to indices, we didn't get the most volatility right away. Like it didn't trigger any setups, but maybe it makes some setups. So we'll dive into that right now. But before we dive in, want to make sure I go in here into the chat and say what up. But before I do that, just want to give y'all some friendly reminders. Right, as you're going into today's session, remember to trade whatever's in front of you that follows your system. If you don't have a system, make sure you're going through our classroom so you learn how to build one. In our community, you have really everything you need to build a system. If you're really new to trading, then make sure you're going into the Mastering the Basics series in there. That is going to help you tremendously. So go through that if you haven't already. And then in the Smart Money Playbook, that's where you'll see how to build a system, how to have structure. So if you're like, I don't even know where to start, make sure you're there. But for everyone else that's been trading, maybe you already have a system or you're working on one, whether you're taking on prop firms, especially if you're doing a challenge right now, or if you're funded and on the road to payouts, you don't have to get everything done today. It doesn't have to be the trade that you were analyzing. You just got to make sure you're getting quality opportunity. All right, so take good shots at the market. That's what matters more. If you had a great day yesterday, the week before, you're not here to duplicate the past. You're just here to create the best present possible. So focus on doing that, and things are going to work out pretty well. All right. As you're going into this, let go of whatever you believe needs to happen and just do what needs to happen. Right? Just operate at your highest. That's it. All right. That's it. We're living in times where we have the ability to make money by just observing Japanese candlesticks. Like this, in my opinion, is one of the greatest skills to possibly learn, and it is quite the challenge in itself, but that's what builds you as a person. So I think the journey itself within this is extremely valuable. So, let's do a great job today. All right, so what's up, Maury, Patrick, Harshi, Vaughn, Brandon, Shelby, Rafa? Man, we got all these traders in here. Gabriel, Kai, Seth, Michael, Joe, Nick, morning. What's up, Karen, Luis, Vision, Staff, buongiorno. Got Greg, buen provecho con el cafecito. Yoselin, what's up, brother? What's up? Happy belated birthday. I don't know if you saw my message. What's up, Lil Janko? Yo, my G. Yeah, hail was nuts last night over here. In the exact move, half risk. Sweet. All right. What's up, Henry? Good to see you on here, man. Edgar, Savio, morning, babe. What was I gonna add here? There's one more thing I was about to say. Oh, so congrats! I want to give some more congratulations, guys. Tradetopia's been going crazy. Y'all been on fire. I love it. Last night I can't even catch up with posting the success stories right now. But shout out to Evan for his withdrawal yesterday and for passing 2 more accounts. So shout out to you, Evan. Shout out to Moises, who got funded during London session. So let's go. Y'all, I mean, come on. Let's make it happen. And here's the coolest thing. You did respond? Oh, my bad. I'm going to miss it. The coolest thing is it's not because of me at all. Like, I've been trading okay. I've been trading well. But it's not like, oh, Mike's on fire. Everyone's getting funded. It's just that you guys are finding awesome opportunities. You've been able to build more discipline, build more systems, especially the syndicate squad. Like, you guys are putting into practice a lot of what we're doing. We're refining the prop firm strategy, like how to approach them a little bit differently. And just, you guys are just trading your game super well. So, I'm not here to take any credit for all that. And I just love to see it. So, with that being said, okay, let's look at the markets. What in the world is happening over here? So yesterday we were contemplating, right, the sells over here, but then by the time the market was moving up to the zone, as you guys saw, like, Dow was really bullish. So as we got into here, I know YM looked better, slightly clearing these highs, but structure basically showed us that indices weren't ready to sell off. So price action was too bullish. What was the option, which was Dow, was already trading way too high. So at the end of that stream, I was like, yeah, guys, this is not, like, I deleted my orders. I was like, I'm going to stay away from this. So right now, however, we're still bullish on our time frames. Like the 5-minute, the 15-minute is still creating higher highs. We're still trading higher and higher. We were trading above this high for about 3 hours. So right now we're trading pretty low into yesterday's New York session. So we traded back down into here where we had right after New York open. And so CPI clears London lows, and now we're starting to rally a bit. So we're starting to see some of this. So here's where I think traders might go wrong today. Again, this is my take. I could be wrong too. All right, but my interpretation here and is the following. TPM 123 on oil. Nice. Let's go. So here's CPI. CPI drives price up, then down. So we see a nice little pump up here. Trades into about an hour's, it liquidates about an hour's worth of sellers, and then it drops. So this is Dow. Dow then breaks London lows and trades down here for 10 minutes before market quickly comes right back up and then is starting to go up again. So I don't like structure here. I think that it looks a bit more effective to go higher. Like it breaks below, but it looks like it just clears London lows and then just rallies. So I'm not into selling here. I don't think the structure was great. If anything, I think we might come back down here and then trade higher. So I think that I'm going to avoid selling out of CPI. I just don't think there was enough. And that's with Dow Jones. S&P is very similar. S&P pumps up, trades into the imbalance, breaks London low and New York low before it starts to rally as well. So this is also doing a very similar movement. you see here's where you see the break of the low, and then now we're getting a continuation. So this is starting to look more and more like either a shakeout or a mitigation trade, and then you have NASDAQ that's doing the same thing. So, and then NQ didn't even break London lows, actually just liquidated some of these equal lows that we had here. So we clear these lows and then rally. So at least in this smaller structure, like I don't think selling right here off of CPI makes sense yet. So that's not, I'm not convinced on that. Right? I'm not convinced on that. What I could understand for sells, it's still not really the greatest structure, since you're trying to get ahead of the short is kind of what we have here. So if you're looking to sell, let's say in this imbalance here with Dow or S&P or NQ, so if you're looking to sell up here, I don't think it's like a terrible trade. So I don't hate this trade up here, but I don't love this trade up here, and here's why. So with structure, we have our higher lows, higher highs, so we have our bullish, here's our range from yesterday, so our last like 24 hours of trading. And of course, we trade up here for some time before we get a massive push back down here, and this is, you know, cleanly retracing back to these lows. Here, the market stays bullish on this time frame, which is just a 5-minute time frame. But for sure, there's definitely motive for price to get into this imbalance, and you do see the last push up before the market drops. So can the market reverse out of here? Sure. Is there a clean setup here? Is the question. Is this the beginning of the distribution? Is this the beginning of this reversal? So this here is now like this is where it could be the beginning of a reversal, but it doesn't necessarily, like there's not enough confirmation for me to confidently go like, oh yeah, we're now bearish, because we're not. But the market does clear out these highs, trades into this imbalance, and then loses that momentum. So I definitely could understand the sell here, especially because honestly this does liquidate quite a bit. Like you have all of this. So selling out of here, I don't think is a terrible trade. But I will say that we don't have this break. So I do think it's slightly premeditated here. But I definitely understand it. So that's my take on here. So this sell, especially if this is going to be, and you know, like the market's been ranging pretty well, so this would be kind of towards the extremes of the day, so I don't think it's a bad area. But I would want to just see, okay, how is NQ and S&P moving, and it makes the most sense right now. Dow is struggling to go as bullish as everything else. Look at how S&P and especially NASDAQ, NQ already took out CPI's highs, took out and is approaching Tokyo highs here. So you're seeing NASDAQ already pushing very bullish. And you're seeing S&P wanting to go a break above these highs, struggling a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, I don't hate this sell. I just think that since we haven't broken at least 5-minute structure, I wouldn't go for like massive lows. I like the sell enough where taking this something intraday makes sense, especially if there's divergence. So the fact that Dow is moving slower to the upside, I think that's a good, like that gives us a pretty good expectation for a trade. So yeah, I'm still willing to risk it. I just know that I'm not gonna look to aim for the market breaking structure to the downside, and that's about it. But we did get structure shift here, like the smaller time frame, you know, like we do see lower lows here. So we have higher high, higher low, higher high, and then we are trading below over here. So it's not like we didn't go bearish on the smaller time frames, because we did. We have some good pullbacks. So I think there's a trade here. It's just my exit is going to be tighter. So a trade here looks something like this. So let's say taking a trade in this range. Okay, how big do you want your stop to be? Do you have your stop over here? So like, what does that look like? Is this efficient enough? And then targets wise, like I probably wouldn't extend it too far. So I say something like this makes sense. Yeah. So let's see. Let me go through the chat. You don't think we could work our way down into that massive imbalance on the sell side? Work our way down. Yeah, it's not that we can't eventually get there. Like, I don't trade to get to zones. I just trade where would money come in to push it down. So like, can we get back down to here at some point? Yes, but one of the things that I see a lot of traders make mistakes is because imbalances are left behind, people want to keep getting into the market because they think it's going to get here now. But we don't know that. Like, we don't know when it's going to get there. It can just get there at some point. It's like setups like this one. Like, okay, we haven't been up in this range. We haven't been over to here either. And so if you wanted to keep buying, oh, it's got to get up here, it's got to get up here, then you end up just buying over and over and over again, and you just get annihilated. So don't trade with the profit or the target in mind. It's like the entry is what has to trigger your trade and eventually get you there. How long do you like to see structure build to determine what's confirmed? Yeah, it's definitely relative. What is that platform you're using? TradingView? This one? Like, yeah, this is TradingView. Silver and gold switching currently. Silver look like she might be set up for some nice buys. Yeah, we can take a look at that. What about right above Tokyo highs for sells? So yeah, there's imbalances, sure, right here, yeah. Then you also have this last push up here, so they definitely get a nice bullish pump right here before the final move. So like right here, right, things take it up another notch and start to go. So I mean, yeah, I understand sells. Like sells make sense right around this zone. You know, if you wanted to take something like this, I can see that too. Better risk reward for sure. Yeah, so structure, it is definitely relative based on like the time frame. So for example, here, right, this setup here, you have the market, look at how it works its way up, worked its way back down. Here it trades below for like 10 minutes. So like the 3-minute time frame, like I want to see the market trade below here for, let's just say like, it's weird. I haven't found a science behind it. Like, and maybe it's just a lack of creating data, but it's almost like the shape of it makes more sense than the duration. But like, let's say in this example, 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, like I typically want to see structure there for like, 20, 30 minutes or more, because when you kind of see it spike down, it's here for a little bit and then come right back up, especially it just quickly goes up. Like it's not like it just kind of works its way up slowly, but it just like rips higher. It kind of shows you like, oh, so there wasn't really money, there wasn't a lot of demand at these prices. It's really wanting to trade higher. So that's what just doesn't convince me. But yeah, Yaslin, about Tokyo highs, I gotta be more like quicker to get to the chat. Hi Mike, I've been following you since IM Academy. I've been trading for 2.5 years and I'm still not profitable, but at break-even stage. Any suggestions or advice? Yeah, so if you're at break-even and then you're about 2.5 years in, I mean, it's like you got to do a diagnosis first. Like, okay, where, and I made this quiz once, but no one used it, so it was kind of a waste of my time. But it was really, honestly, would have been really useful for you guys. But whatever. But yeah, it's like you have to identify. Okay, is it that I can't? One, do you have a duplicatable system? After going through it, what type of risk reward on average are you getting every month? And if that is profitable, let's say you're getting 5, 10 hour, 20 hour a month, then if what you're doing doesn't match what you're supposed to be getting, so at that point, then it's either, it's a behavioral thing, right? It's a neurological thing, a psychological thing. So like, okay, you got to go and why do I believe the things that I believe? You got to work on the internal, right? If that's the case, or I mean, that's basically going to be the case. An identity thing. It depends on if you're trading live accounts, prop firm accounts, also, and then you just got to be real with what kind of actual work ethic are you putting into this, because you could be around trading for some time, but actually trading is different. So like we had this conversation yesterday where, you know, if you've been around trading for years, but you haven't been trading consistently all that time, it's not even really fair to be like, oh, I've been doing this for so long and I'm not getting results. It's like, you've been around it, but if you haven't been putting in the work, then yeah, you shouldn't expect the results. So it depends. But if where you're right now, like you just are like, I can't just figure this out on my own right now at this point, and you've put in a lot of effort, then like Michael here is saying, what we do here, Tradetopia, is basically everything I am had for free. And then the syndicate is like our hands-on, feedback-focused like development program for serious traders, like people who already have a couple years in or have just been putting in a lot of work. I think that the syndicate squad itself can tell you, like, yeah, I mean, it's fucking valuable. So if you want to check that out and see if it's for you, we do a call. Like it's a whole conversation just to figure out if it makes sense for you. To be honest, we do reject a decent amount of people just based off of where they're at. Sometimes we'll just send you back to the classroom. Sometimes we'll set other goals, whether it's financial things that you should be at. Because to be honest, guys, as well, like you could have a really good understanding of the markets, but if financially you're just not in the right place or you just don't have the proper financial literacy or habits, then trading is going to only get harder because you're wanting it to solve a different problem. Trading can't solve your financial insolvency. Like that's not what it's for. If you have bad spending habits, if you just aren't pushing yourself to have a higher income stream so that you can actually do this and not be up to your neck, guys, it's not going to work. Like as much as we want to be able to help you, like you have to be able to help yourself a little bit first. So yeah, I mean, oftentimes we or if you're just too new, like that's how we built the fast track. We had way too many people that obviously wanted to be a part of way more hands-on work, but you were just too fresh. So the fast track program was to get you to be super ready to either go on your own and crush it or to go into the syndicate program. Yeah, so I mean, I've been trading for over 10 years, and it's just been, you know, probably 4 to 8 hours for like on average for 10 years straight. Yeah, click the link that I just dropped there in the right here. It should be clickable. It's pinned now. Let me see. Can y'all click that link? Oh, I messed it up. Oh, my bad. Apparently, I'm illiterate. There you go. That should work. All right, so there it is. Yeah, so book a call there and see if it's for you. So sadly for us, CPI sell-off on Dow worked. God damn it. So we had NQ swept London highs, not quite taking out Tokyo highs yet. And then Dow was like, you know what? Yeah, fuck your structure. We're going to sell out of CPI and you're going to like it. Salud. Y'all heard Mondo from there? That's crazy.
That's crazy. I watch Best Day.
It's because I'm not on. I'm on the Osmo mic. This mic is like really central. This one over here, you can hear Maya's stomach grumbling right now. No, I mean the structure. So my structure rule with demand, like it's just higher probability setups, but I still like these still work. Like they will play out, just not as often. Definitely not as often. So that's why it's like it's such a love-hate relationship with structure and demand, because there will be every like I don't know 1 in 5 that like they work, and then you're like and you always feel more the trade that you kind of wanted to take that you didn't take, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, like is my system right? Should I change this? And I change that, and then you do, and then the next trade you take using the exact same setup, then it doesn't work, and you're like, oh my god, like wait, why did I do that? So like, guys, trust me, don't just keep changing your rules around just because like at one time or every once in a while like something works. So you gotta just be okay with it. Like, understand that market opportunities happen so often that like it's just infinite. Like there's just infinite amounts. So the faster you become detached, right? The faster you become detached to the faster you become detached to market opportunities, and you're not just like, oh, I gotta go and I gotta take every trade possible, and when you miss a setup, it's just like, oh my god, it's the end of the world. Like abundance is so prevalent here. Don't even trip. I guarantee you we'll find something here right now. So you know what? Let's go do that. All right. So if we do come back over to here, awesome. We'll be set. Meanwhile, what could give us an opportunity now in reality is we might have a great trading opportunity with NASDAQ. Like, look at how NQ sold off here after like 10 minutes after CPI. We get a great sell-off. And then now we have our mitigation zone right there. So we can get reversals out of here and get a trade, take a buy from these positions. Definitely possible. We've been trading above this previous high now for about 17 minutes. And look at how it's just been maintaining, right? Maintaining. So if you can hold this a bit longer, we might be in a good position to continue buying. However, there is the downside to this. The downside to this kind of trade is the reality that, well, we have liquidity down here. So NASDAQ does have equal lows over here. You have London lows as well. So when you have liquidity near kind of where your entries are, it can be more vulnerable. So you do want quite a bit of structure. You want more proof, okay, that the market does want to stay bullish. Okay, we can deal with this. And especially if you have, let's say, for example, like look at how Dow Jones right now is clearing these lows. So if we were to have Dow trading towards either an order block or previous structure. So here, for example, you have the previous high. So here's this is just like a point of resistance. So if the market, let's say Dow were to get down to here or over to here, and at the same time, then we see NQ trading into, a key level. Okay, since there's alignment, since there's synchronicities, there's like reversal points in the market. Okay, you can feel a bit more confident taking a position over here. So sometimes you have to, well, all of the time, remember, you're looking at the asset class. So you're looking at indices overall. And for certain trades to be ready, like the entire market for indices needs to be ready too. So that's how it's going to be a little bit easier to approach it. What's CPI? Good question. So CPI is actually, Stephanie. So the video, okay, so this is cool. This has worked out perfectly. So for all of you in the fast track, you're gonna learn what CPI is in later on into this week's program. So you're in the understanding trading and understanding and trading news. So this is where I did a little guide for you guys. So you'll kind of know a little bit more about what CPI is. To be honest, like you don't even really need to know that much about what it is, but the timing of it is what's more important. And also this video, guys, will be dropping on my YouTube today. So this will be dropping today. But CPI basically is this. It's the change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers. So the change in price of your eggs, milk, produce, like what's spinach going for right now. So yeah, this is the goods and services. And so this number is important because based on how this is moving, it's kind of a good way to understand inflation. Primarily, it's about inflation. So are prices going up or are they going down? Why are these things happening? Who are we going to blame? So yeah, that's why this is important. And then based on what inflation does, then, the Federal Reserve can respond to that and go, okay, we're going to, we're cutting interest rates now. And so that's what can happen there. To be fair, the outcome of this doesn't dictate what happens in the market. It's not like, it was forecasted higher. We had this forecast and actually it was higher or lower. So whatever, or it was the same. That's not going to instantly change something. If the actual is the same as the forecast, then typically it's a pretty mellow news event, despite it being a red folder. But if it's higher or lower, it doesn't mean the market's going to go higher or lower. It's just the timing of it is going to orchestrate volatility and things can happen. But yeah, this video is actually going to drop on my YouTube today in an hour or so. And so for those of you, remember, and this is just a rule of thumb moving forward, basically, I'm going to give away a trading account for every upload I have. So if I were you, I would drop a comment. I would watch it, learn something, and then drop a comment because I choose a person from the comments to win the account. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Harshi won an account. So so y'all just keep me, stay dialed in. I appreciate it. I want to be able to actually grow this. We've been working on the channel now for about a year. Actually I guess you could call it working on the channel. We've been streaming here, but the uploads, man, y'all already know, it's not been as great as it could have been. But yeah, anyways, this is one way that we can keep growing. Okay, so trying Mondo, see if his sneezes are journaling. We heard Nancy's salute as well. It's funny. Okay. Hello. What's up, Cesar? ¿Cómo estás? Don't bet on the 3%. He said often, like he's from the Windy City or something. Is that a Chicago thing? Okay, cool. What a time to be on a social media blackout. Huh? Oh. Okay. So, let's see if, let me ask you guys a question. As you're looking at this right now, how do you guys feel about NQ, right? How do you feel about the structure Do you feel like this was enough for you to go, okay, this could be bullish? I think it's pretty substantial because like Dow already cleared these lows. So Dow broke below, cleared New York lows, while NQ is like way up here still. So I do think we could have a decent setup at this because of this London and New York lows. I think this for me would be like a half risk trade, just because it's a bit more vulnerable. The market could want to clear these lows over here, so I don't need to have a full risk trade in here. So it's a little iffy. Yeah, it came down quick. Agreed. So if we can come back up here, trade a little bit longer, and then we come down, cool, I feel a lot better about the trade. The divergence is good though. The divergence is good. So we'll give that time. Okay, from here though, I do have other thoughts regarding some of the market moves with the majors. So actually, you know what? I'll get to the majors. They're not urgent, so I'll get to the dollar pairs in a second. I did want to look at metals real quick. So we finally got this other break below. Thank you so much. And we traded into this imbalance. Maybe some of you guys took a buy when the market was spiking down and liquidating all of this. I didn't really have an entry right away, but however, we do have possible formations of metals and buys with metals. So I do like what we could see here. So whether it's going to be gold or whether it's going to be silver, we shall see here soon. It looks like they look pretty similar, but zooming out here, here's what we need to understand. Number one, the markets move to the downside, which takes out New York lows from Tuesday, and then proceeds to really clear and trade into Monday's Asian session imbalance. So great. So this is a liquidation. Retail gets swept here. So typically if there's these buys, remember, these buyers over here, buyers here, buyers here, buyers here, their stops are below these lows, right? Below these wicks. So this move here, it's to, since there are orders below, so remember, there are positions. So there are like, at these specific prices, remember that a stop loss, and this is why the futures makes more sense, like legitimate, it's very more straightforward. So remember, if you're in a buy order, so here's a little lesson, right? More on the basic side. If you have buys open, how do you get out of the market as a futures trader? How do you close your buy position? This is the fast track. This is for you, right? Specifically. By selling, right? So if you have a buy, let's say you have a buy order here, your stop loss is a sell stop. So that means that how do you get out of your buy? Well, there needs to be another position, right? There needs to be another order on the other side of that. So when you put your stop loss, it's a sell stop. That means that you're willing to sell your position at a lower price, which is why you take a loss. But in order for your sell stop to go through, someone else's buy, there needs to be another order that's a buy. So someone is matching that. They go, okay, oh, you want to sell at 51,065? Great. There needs to be another trade there. Because you can't get out of your trade if no one wants your position. If there's no order on the other side of it, like, you're not going to get out. You can't. Can't get out. When you see massive moves, so sometimes like these kind of moves happen because no one's really willing to get out at these levels. A lot of times when you get massive spikes, like crashes, like true crashes, it's because of that. For example, the biggest crash of all time was, Black Tuesday, 1929, October 28th or 29th, 1929. And what happened there? people couldn't get out of their positions. One, why? Because one, it was delayed because we didn't have the internet. So people are getting their information, you know, super, super delayed. And so the panic selling was a delayed panic sell, and they couldn't get out until like closest thing available. And so, you know, people, it was just absolute chaos and madness. But my point is, when these get liquidated, great, the market comes down to here. When price gets to this area over here, now all of these buyers, right, price goes down to this level because it is a very predictable place for stop losses. So that means that there's a lot of money sitting over here, that there's a lot of, at, you know, let's just say at 19 below 1960 or 51.65, below 51.62, 63, 60, all of these, there were a lot of positions sitting there because there was a lot of buyers here. So that means that if I wanted to get in the market, but I had a whole bunch of money, like I had millions, billions that I wanted to put into the market, I can't just buy right here because I'm not going to get filled right here. Okay? The reason liquidity builds up is because there needs to be enough orders so that bigger orders can get in. So think about it this way. Imagine that there's 100,000 positions. Like you want to take 100,000 minis. Right? You want to take, let's just say 1,000 minis here. But you're like, well, I can't just open these trades because no one's going to buy them. You know, and there's going to be no one that's going to be like, oh, yeah, I got the money for it. I'll take that order. Can't. So they have to what? They have to orchestrate it. So you go, okay, let's get some buyers in here. Let's get some buyers in here. Let's get some buyers in here. Now there's going to be enough stops over here so that by the time that, like, I want to get in here. So I need to lure in all of this money so that right when it gets to here, okay, now I can have all my orders fill in this range, and then I'll get in a cheaper price, and I can actually get in with all my money, and then the market goes. This is assuming you are a elite player in the markets, right? You are orchestrating and moving billions. That's what happens over here. So that's why we have liquidity build up, so that the big money can come in here. Little lesson on liquidity. By selling, sell stops, you sell it back. Yeah, exactly. No, you guys are good. You sell the exact same amount. Awesome. Sell. Okay, well done. Micro has a larger volume of trades per price point because of the contract size being smaller. Larger volume of trades. So Michael, and maybe it's just a like maybe I'm just misinterpreting your idea. Micro has more. It doesn't have more orders. It's just that the orders are smaller, so that sure there's more orders, but there's more volume in mini. Right? Since mini is 10 times more. So for example, if we went to look at the volume here, so let me show you guys this real quick. So for example, if you looked at where is the difference here? Where is micro and mini? Why aren't they both here? Where is this part? Today you were liquidity. Nice. Why I'm moving crazy? Just caught the buy. Let's go, dude. Evan just here, just praying, bro. Just click and pray, baby. Okay, so look at here. Look at the difference. So we have micro and mini. All right, so look at these right here. If you're looking at micro and mini, you're gonna see, oh look, micro has more volume, right? 671,007. So let's say 672,000. And mini has less volume. But this is 142,000 orders of mini. So multiply this by 10. So this is this is going to be 10 times more than this would be the equivalent to micro. Because these are this many mini orders versus this many micro orders. So the mini orders are worth 10 times more than micro. If you look at S&P, same thing. 592,000 micro orders, 400,000 mini orders. So this is almost 10 times more. If you look at YM, 71,000 micro, 50,000. So it's like, oh, there's less mini. Doesn't mean that there's less money moving through. Remember, this is times 10. So there's more like 5 million micros. So that's kind of how you'd look at it. So just so you guys understand it. But anyways, let's go. I know I'm giving you guys lessons and stuff like that, but I do like possible trades on gold or maybe silver. Let's let gold establish some structure, and then we can go and approach it, because gold is definitely way more bullish than silver. But let's go take a look at indices, because I think I'm teaching way too much, whereas I want to make sure I'm also trading. But you guys are asking good questions today, so I'm able to actually answer some good things. So you had the super liquidity, the market came back in, filled this. I think that, here's where we'd have like that kind of inversion. So yeah, I guess I understand the buy here. Not really a lot of demand, so like not my favorite type of trade, but looks like right now Dow is like, I don't really care about structure. I'm just rebalancing everything inside. Whereas NQ, solid. Okay, so S&P now swept London, trading into the zone. Looks like mitigating this higher zone here. Okay, so it looks like the market wants to keep liquidating, whether it's London highs here, NQ taking out not just London highs, but also Tokyo highs. So structure is looking better and better for NASDAQ for these buys moving forward. So I do like this. I am going to add here a little note though. So due to equal lows and London lows not swept yet, the NQ buy, mitigation buy, is a bit vulnerable. Would only half risk this trade. Okay. So there's just some extra context. Look at you on bar chart. I'm so proud. Funny guy. Fat Wayne balance, 1 minute inverse, clicked, prayed. There you go, man. Keep praying. Did you take profit, or are you still holding? Y'all on one right now. Let's go. Okay, so we'll keep this in mind. I wasn't looking to buy Dow just because, NQ is really the bull for the day. So buying Dow just didn't fit my plan. But cool. Keep an eye on this. At this point, we've been above structure here for really the last 35 minutes or so. So I do like this better and better. It's only going to be half risk anyways. Let's see if gold can maintain above this high, because then this would be really nice. Then we can look for a really clean buy position here. So let's see. This would be great if we can do that. And then you guys are asking about oil, huh? Nice, cool, exit, good exit too. I'd say that's a good call, especially if you're buying the asset that is struggling to push up the most. That's a good adjustment there. All right, so what do I think about oil on the 15-minute? So yesterday we had a nice little clearance of liquidity here, little order block continuation. With oil, as you guys have seen, like the markets have been insane over here. We have mitigated, so this 15-minute drop yesterday around like middle of the day was a great setup. Anyone take a buy here? This was like super nice. I didn't see this until like I just wasn't behind a computer, but this was super clean. Finally filled this zone where we had that spike down. I think I had talked about this before, but I guess I didn't mark it up. Maybe on CL I had it marked up. Yeah, look at the difference. So CL, we had it from here. I had it, I guess, a little lower, but we had the markup there. Anyways, yeah, I had it a slightly lower as we looked at a smaller time frame. It looked like we wanted it a little bit lower here. But now we've effectively swept liquidity, a lot of liquidity. The market then traded above this high, so didn't get the breakup here yet, but we did get, 5-minute structure, go bullish, trade up here for decent amount of hours. Fills imbalance first here during Tokyo, so it doesn't really give the best trade yet. And I wanted to see this thing trade a little lower, so maybe CL did. But we had our spike down to here, and then looks like we traded into here, pushed down. So this did definitely rebalance the market. Didn't quite mitigate over here, so maybe it's still possible. But now that we've seen another big crash, taking out London lows, sweeping a ton of liquidity. I mean, equal lows here. Like, there's a lot of money sitting here, so valid push. At this point now, I would want to see, this is very similar to gold. Now that we're breaking above these highs, yeah, dropping too aggressive doesn't really bother me with risk. Like, it's not really a big thing. So some structure, and then we could look for some buy positions somewhere over here and keep pushing this forward. Now, some of you might be actually thinking for the sell as well. Right? You may have seen during, right after CPI, the market goes higher. This takes out some sellers here. Yeah. So this takes out these highs, feels some imbalance, starts working its way lower, but then the structure fails here. So we don't really stay bearish. So this is not my favorite setup for sells. I definitely am preferring buys right now. And like Seth said, there's oil news in 20 minutes. Remember, every week you have Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. Central, oil inventories. So that's a pretty big news event for oil every single week. And I don't think there's a coincidence here, folks. I don't think we have any coincidences going on over here. So if we can stay bullish for the next 20 minutes up here, and then let's say oil inventories, maybe it spikes us down, then I'm definitely open to it. I think that this sell right here is vulnerable. Like, we just don't trade below these lows very much. Yes, we trade above, we lose this, but when we try to go lower, there's really not that much more going on. So I mean, I don't think it's a terrible trade, I just don't think it's a great trade. So obviously, you guys understand it now. Like, there is a push up. Structure for me isn't the best for the sell, so I prefer buys at the moment. We've been trending to the upside. market is really struggling to maintain below, 83.25. And we've just seen very consistent reversals around like 83.30 and change. So I definitely am more inclined to buying around these prices rather than anything else. So I do like this. I prefer this. And then we have London highs, New York highs. Like, we just have a lot that we can take out here. So I would push at least to like 89 and above 89 for like a 4R. Something like this I think makes sense. I'm going to have alerts set, so we're just kind of ready for anything there. But that's oil. Looks like gold's doing a pretty good job with structure for now, so that might be something we have later. And then let's see, I am going to get to dollar pairs here pretty soon. So okay, NQ, I mean, trading above these 1 minute highs pretty well now. For the most part, the last 45 minutes it's been above here, so I mean, yeah, I don't really see too much of a downside for at least a half risk trade on NQ. So let me get some setups here mapped out for us. So today's setups, we have, it's March 11th, 2026, and then we'll start with NQ. And then we got this here. Okay. So there's NASDAQ. This is the one that we've been kind of waiting on. You have Dow that's been really struggling to go really much higher. So I don't know if we're gonna get up to here today. It's possible. I don't know how likely it is, but it is possible. So I'll have it there. The market working its way down also makes more sense too. So here is YM. From here, okay, after this, then we have gold potential. All right, so gold clears these lows. You got today, I'll just go 15 minute here. Easier to see this setup here. So mitigation loading over here. Where would you take your buys? Really anywhere in this zone. I mean, we have good demand at like 51.63, 51.65. So you've seen some reversals around this time. So you could use that. Or I don't really see a stall anywhere in this zone. This just like ripped without even, like, there's like no bearish candle here. This thing just absolutely flies. So yeah, I mean 51.65 is like the last dump basically. Yeah, so I mean right over here I think is great. Like, you have plenty of opportunity. So you can use these last levels of support. It's going to be more of a personal preference at this point. So I would say like right there is probably where I'm going to take mine. a good probability of getting triggered in, and then it's still working, lasting. And then for targets, as you guys can see, gold can be very volatile. We have already trading towards the CPI high. So if we have enough momentum today, clearing the London highs, I think are possible. So this is what we got going on. And that's gold. We got gold. Mitigation, buys, forming. Waiting on structure. Okay, next step, just to review, right? We're just going through what we've seen so far, is oil. Right, oil right now is also in the process of finalizing a possible buying opportunity. Something like this, obviously, like we mentioned, we also have the sells. So the fact that this is kind of struggling to stay above here, this might work, honestly, because this can clear some liquidity and then drop down. So I'm not going to send this one yet because these highs aren't lasting too well either after breaking above this. So I wouldn't necessarily, like, if we get oil inventories that just drop this way back down, since we haven't taken out Tokyo lows, I do still think it's possible that this works its way down to here. Like, I don't think that's a crazy idea for oil to go into this zone either. Because now it's like, yes, we spike down, but then it's struggling to trade higher. If this just keeps pushing lower, then might not get what we want here. So that's why I need the structure first. That's my final confirmations. So we're gonna wait. I mean, I'm gonna be here for oil news. I'll be live still for that. So we'll kind of play that one. We'll do that one together. Okay, so I think that covers everything I had already looked at. Bitcoin's still chilling. Yeah, Bitcoin chilling over here. CPI spiked it up and then back down. You got some imbalance here, so I wonder if we work our way down here at some point. Then we got... Okay, so let's go to majors because this is what I've been wanting to get to and it's just taking me forever to get to it. So, Euro has some interesting movement. Euro here yesterday takes out highs and then starts to actually make lower lows over here. So Euro here was the last push to the upside, the last push right there. Clears the highs before selling off right here. This makes kind of equal highs, so it's annoying, but I mean, that's just how it went. Then we have London. London spikes up, takes out Tokyo highs, and then keeps working its way down. So London spikes up, still leaves some liquidity here, and then works its way lower. So you'd have this as well. Right there. So we kind of have two key zones for reversals here with Euro. We're definitely seeing, the market start to shift momentum. So I like sells in the market here. And especially because Euro is holding down structure pretty well. So like Australian is still pushing higher. There's really nothing to do there. NZD is kind of like Euro, but Euro is trading way more bearish. It's like lower in the structure. You can see it's over here. Nowhere near this by any means. Nowhere near this. So it's just being, I guess, prices is staying lower compared to the rest. CAD, similar. And then you have the yen, as usual, that's just like not getting anywhere near our entries and just doing whatever it wants. I have Euro zones again and again and again, and it's just like not giving deep retracements whatsoever. Yesterday, during New York session, we see another spike up before the market works its way down, making lower lows again. So we see the yen continue to push higher, entice buyers, and then just rip their hearts out. So we're seeing these happen again and again and again and again. So I have my eyes on that. And then finally, we have GBP, where I know some of you are, definitely been dialed in with pound. So with the pound, there are opportunities, but I do think highs are going to get wicked out. So that's my warning. Obviously, you guys live your life. But you see the sweep over here. This takes out some liquidity right here. And then doesn't take out this high though. So if you compare this to Euro, the market's trading up here. So here's just to show you with Fibonacci. This move up here, this spike is like middle of the day yesterday. Right now you're seeing it's at a 38.2 pullback. Whereas if you look at the yen, it's way down here. If you look at the Euro, it's way down here. So this same spike up from about noon Central Time yesterday, this is well below a 38.2. This is like a 10% pullback. Whereas the pound is up here. So I don't think these highs, I don't think the market's going to respect these highs. I think it's going to break above them for the pound. So those are my thoughts so far. With that, I'm not really sold on that idea quite yet. Same thing goes with Swiss franc. So, yeah, I'm not really looking forward to any of that. I think right now, nah. It's like Euro is probably the only one that has my interest. Whereas, obviously, things can change based off of price action, but I'm chilling. How many hours a day do I trade usually? I'd say it depends. Like, after I'm done streaming, if there's really nothing else left, then I just, like, go work on some things, go to the gym. Like, if I were to average it, how many hours I'm, like, actively looking at charts, I'm probably maybe, like, 3. But I will say, like, if I wasn't live with you guys here in the morning, I would already, like, I'd be done by now. Like, I would just be in and out a lot more often because I use alerts. So I would just be doing other things. So it just depends. Like, I like to use my resources. So if I have alerts, I'll set up alerts. If I have other things going on, like, we'll just do that. So, yeah. But there are sessions where it's like, I'll be on for quite some time because there's a lot of things going on, waiting for this or waiting for that. Today might be one of those days where it's like, oh, dude, there's like so much going on. So it just depends. Corey, you're late to class. Sending your ass to detention. Have you heard of anything on UXR crypto? Nah. But to be fair, I haven't been like super dialed in on the crypto landscape right now. So, like, big ones, the ones that I have, but I haven't been like looking for the latest and greatest in crypto. And I'm definitely not like a hyper meme coin guy. Like, I don't really give a shit about what's on Pump Fund. So, but yeah, I don't know. UXR. Maybe someone else in here knows. Maybe Nance is tapped in on that or something. But yeah, so what are you guys gonna do? Are you guys gonna sell this, or are you guys gonna stay out of the market? You got 2 minutes. How are we feeling about decisions here? The stock and crypto challenge is alive, but it's withering away. It's bad. It's bad. Yeah, funny enough, the only things I'm really down on are the ones that I chose for the challenge. Like everything else is basically up, which is hilarious. That's how it goes. I'm like, we could start a new challenge, like while the other one's just on life alert and just getting the defibrillator just yeah. So yeah, I've thought about that because I mean, obviously, if you did the challenge right, like it was money that was extremely disposable to you. It's what it should have been like, as it was explicitly expressed. Like, do not use money you need. This should be almost throwaway money. Like the type of money like you use when you're just like you're not even blinking. Like you're just like, oh, whatever. Like cool. Yeah, you just it is what it is. Weeble, yeah, Weeble down for sure. At least I got a shirt with a cute dog. Same. I have a lot of dog. I actually bought some a couple days ago. Yeah. With crypto, I mean, crypto's interesting because like you can cycle. Like there's certain ones that I'd be like, if I had certain meme coins, I'd be like, dude, we're fucked. But with that, I'm not really worried, even though I am down quite a bit. But I'm just like not at all concerned whatsoever. All right, we're seconds away from this. I have a feeling this oil sell could happen, but like I'm just not gonna take anything. I don't. It's not a great setup, so it's pretty mid because of structure. So like selling here, I don't know. I don't care. Like I just don't care to take this trade. Does my livelihood depend on this cute dog asking for me? Depend? No, but it would be nice. Yeah. It would be nice, I'll tell you that much. Alright, oil chilling. Let's see what did we get for energy here. That's a big difference. Actual was 3.8 compared to forecasted 2.8. So that's a lot more. So this is not necessarily, this is like bad for oil, if you will. So these are right depending on supply and demand. Demand. So higher inventories than expected. What's up? Did you do something?
Oh, I did do something.
Okay, so chilling. Demand based on Iran. Right now, yes. Right now, that's the narrative. Iran, sometimes it's Venezuela. We'll see. The sell is playing out decent though. It's starting to drop in here. It looks like we're gonna be able to maintain this high though. Like if this stays like this, then we could be able to. The buy looks like it's gonna be playing out, unless this just dumps crazy right now. But where's gold at? Gold for me has been trading up here for 30 minutes. So honestly, like I'm with it on gold. I'm down. 1 minute structure bullish. 5 minute obviously hasn't given us like a break above here yet. If we get a break above here, ooh, That's even better. Would I want it to? It would be better, sure. Do I need it to? Do I need it to? No. I don't need it to. But I would love for that to happen. That would be great. Like that would just be super high probability, like full risk, like typical risk without hesitation. Same thing with gold. Yeah. With just the 1 minute breaks, if you're trading with the trend, like there's a chance that the market does go in your favor. So like if you're trading alongside the momentum. And especially if it's following a like, so you see how gold here liquidated a lot. So if you have a mass liquidation like this, and then you're going alongside the trend, the probabilities of it keep continuing and flowing with the market are a lot better. So gold is pretty solid in that situation. Whereas like with oil here, oil sweeps, and then let's go to NQ real quick. Oil doesn't make a mass liquidity sweep, but it is starting to trend upwards. So, all right, let's take a quick look at this. NQ in the zone now, while Dow is going even lower. And look at how we talked about, right? It played right into structure, right there. Got really close to that structure, and then started to bounce. Whereas now NQ is more bearish. So here's where it's like, dude, what do you do here? NQ now is starting to be more bearish, while Dow is starting to hold up better on structure. So do you pull the trigger here? And seemingly, give me a second. I don't think I was logged in here to this one. Okay, here we go. So I do think NQ is still like, I mean, time frame wise, it was still good. Clears the low and then trades. I was going to take this a little bit lower anyway, so this would have missed me regardless. You're in the sell? Nice. What's your take profit? I would be taking my profit. I would have taken my profit here if I was in a sell. So NQ's push down was about 60 points. So I would want to see like a 60-point move out of here. Got a pretty decent push. Not quite 60 though. So yeah, I'd want to see this thing like pump up to like right here. My entry would have been just probably a little bit lower than this. Sell limit on NQ based off of what, this high over here? Okay. Yeah, I typically don't like to sell whatever's like the most bullish. But obviously these things are trading up and down through these ranges, so they're moving pretty well. Close 1 and 2. Nice, Jocelyn. Well done. Yeah, nice. Super nice. All right, so NQ mitigating now. Did anyone trigger? Was anyone like take the position right off the open or right below this low? If you did, I mean, you should be sitting at like around a 1-to-1 right now. If you took it kind of anywhere in here, like right around a 1-to-1. So triggered in, nice little Janko. I forgot to set my limit. Didn't take NQ, but I'm in oil sells. Cool. Is oil dropping?
Yeah.
You're in that too? You are? Oh, you're not? All right, so yeah, selling. Look, it's selling out of here, decent. Not quite ready, not full mitigation, but it's moving. NQ, if you did take NQ, I would reduce my stop or go break even at this point. So sweet. I mean, this was, did I send this out or no? I didn't even post it. Damn it. I forgot. So people didn't even get to see this unless they were on the stream. Perks for being on the stream though. Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, yeah, it's just whatever. This was complete mitigation here. Now done. Cool. What happens from here, folks? What do we get? You know what? S&P also held up in this area too. Nice. Dow is now ripping. So this is what this looks more interesting to me now. So look at how Dow liquidates. You know, we fully rebalance the market, play right near this structure, and then we recuperate over here. So from here, this could be a nice little shakeout vibe. Start to like go sideways a bit, and then we can look for a nice little buy and continuation. I like that. I like that. Let's see it. I want to see it. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's stream. Thank you for flying with Tradetopia Airlines today. And, you're welcome back tomorrow and the day after. So, guys, remember, within the next hour or so, the new upload will be there. So make sure you drop a comment on that new upload because you will have the ability to win a funded account. That will be announced on either Thursday or Friday. So drop a comment. Share with the homies, and yeah, let's just keep the good trading going. Stay disciplined. Don't worry about what you didn't or did take. Like, document what you did. Stay sharp. Right? Don't get the FOMO. There will be more setups. You don't need to pass today. You don't need to get paid out today. Just trade the game. All right? Just trade the game. All right, anyways, if you learned something new, and if you want to keep learning, but you don't have a place to do it, remember we have a community. Well, I can join the community. You can check that out here. It's free. Tradingwithmike.com. Right there. Click that. Type that. It's pretty simple. Trading with Mike. I'm sure you know how to spell Mike. Don't know how I ended up with this domain, but it's sick. And then for those of you that are more advanced, more experienced, you've been trading for a good amount of time, but you're not finding the holes in your game, then let us do that for you and schedule a call so you actually get some clarity in your life and you stop ripping the hairs off your head. So right there, you can do that. Book a call with us. Trust me. You don't have to trust me. There's enough people in here that speak for it in itself. And there's enough people right now that are getting funded and getting paid that are, consciously working on their craft. So much love, you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. Stay active in the school community if you want to be dialed in with everything that's going on in trading, different setups, getting feedback, whether it's from me, Nance, other people in the community. The people in the community are awesome. Like, everyone's just always down to help and give value. So we appreciate all of you that make up Tradetopia. And last thing I'll say is that we're doing basically like for the merch for Tradetopia, we are wanting to bring in new collections, but we also want to just finish selling out everything we have in store. So like, there's discounts there on the store as well if you guys want to rep the highest quality Tradetopia merch. But anyways, take care, guys. We love y'all. Peace.
Don't nobody else make me feel it. Don't nobody else make me feel it. Yeah. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Don't nobody else make me feel like. So don't nobody else make me feel like. Yeah. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Don't nobody else make me feel like. So don't nobody else make me feel like. Yeah. Don't nobody else make me feel like.